5,000 years ago, a small tribe in the Middle East devised a beautiful story to explain why humans suffer, and therefore to suggest that there might be a way for us to end suffering. The story was simple and clever, and when it was first told, even young children would have easily understood its powerful message. But not long after the story was first told, we completely stuffed it up, and we've been stuffing it up ever since. This story was to become the foundational story that formed the three religions that have most shaped the world we live in today, in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And tragically, because we stuffed it up so badly, rather than pointing to a way out of suffering, it created an image of God and of each other that was to cause much greater suffering. The story is, of course, the story of Adam and Eve. And to show how badly we stuffed it up, let me ask you a question that should change everything. What was it that Adam and Eve ate? If you said it was an apple, then you've stuffed it up. If you said it was just some old fruit, you've stuffed it up. If you said you don't know, then you've stuffed it up. And if you said I don't care, then you've allowed everyone else to keep stuffing it up. The stuffed up version of the story tells us that people lived in paradise until they chose to disobey God. And when they did, God punished people for eternity. And whether we believe the story to be literally true or just a myth to describe God's relationship with all people, or whether we rejected the story altogether, in any case we perpetuated the lie that told us that people are inherently evil and that God is inherently vengeful. And thus, ever since, we have been vengeful on God's behalf. But if human wickedness and divine punishment was the intended meaning of the story, then why not use an apple? Why not a tangerine? Why not any old fruit? The tragedy is that the name of the fruit is the most important part of the story, and yet most of us don't have a clue what it was. It was not an apple, and it was not just any old fruit. The long-forgotten wisdom that has been staring us in the face for millennia is that Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And that should change everything. When we let go of thousands of years of misinterpretation and reread the story with new eyes, the meaning of the story and the choice of fruit changes everything that we've been told about God and about each other. We suffer because we judge. Before we evolved the faculty of judgment, before we started labelling objects and events and then started calling some of them good and some of them bad, everything was good. What is was what is. But the moment we became the first species in history to call something evil, we actually created evil. And when we created evil and evil was done to us, for the first time we suffered. For the first time it was bad to be naked. For the first time it was bad to die. For the first time when natural events took place that are now called evil, I felt fear, anger, and sorrow. And soon, evil was everywhere, and my eternal suffering was inevitable. The evolution of the universe reached a stage where my thinking, judging mind placed a flaming sword preventing me from returning to the tree of life, to paradise, to nirvana, to enlightenment, to the kingdom of heaven. It was not an apple. God is not vengeful, and you are not bad for labelling other things as being bad. But now we have rediscovered the original meaning of this powerful story. Now we can see clearly the root cause of our suffering. Maybe we can also rediscover a way to stop it, to return to the tree of life, to salvation, and to paradise.